Breaking news this evening, Manchester United have offered Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new £9 million a year deal. That is a £2 million pay rise on his current contract. He is set to sign it in the course of the next 7 days as Man United sit second in the Premier League and look almost a certainty to secure a top 4 place. This in the week where there's been many Man United fans again calling for Ole to be sacked, saying that Ole has reached the ceiling and the club are not moving forward. This is also in the middle of all the debates that have been circulating in football for many weeks now of who the biggest problem at Manchester United is. Is it Ole, who clearly has his limitations as a manager, lack of system, lack of tactics, or is it the board? Is it the owners who are happy to accept mediocrity as long as the money continues to roll in? This new £9 million contract offered to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer seems to settle that argument once and for all. If the board and the owners are willing to continue with Ole as the manager, regardless of how we finish the season, as long as we remain in a Champions League place, it should be the only message needed to every single Manchester United fan on the face of planet Earth, maybe in Mars, maybe somewhere else in the Milky Way, that this club is potentially doomed for an eternity. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. Here is what the article has said here, and I want to read this out to you word for word. It says, Manchester United have offered Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a new £9 million a year contract. Sources at Manchester United say talks are set to begin any day now, and a new deal with the Norwegian Norwegian is set to be signed with his current 3-year contract clicking into its final year later this month. Man United's senior management team, led by Executive Vice Chairman Ed Woodward, have been encouraged in securing new technical posts for former midfielder Fletcher and Murtough since the start of 2021. Solskjaer was involved in formulating the new structure, and it's his turn to extend his contract. Even before Man United's 2-0 comfortable win over Manchester City last week, Woodward publicly praised the steps made under Solskjaer to the shareholders as the club's latest quarterly figures were announced earlier this month. The Supremo, I'm not going to read out what he says, I just can't be bothered with it. He says Solskjaer will be rewarded with a healthy upgrade on his current £7 million a year deal, with the Man United hierarchy happy with the way the first team is developing under the 99 treble hero. And just reiterate that point there just again, right? Reiterate that just again, okay? They're happy with the development. So let me just, when you're screaming Ole out, when you're screaming McTominay this or Pogba that, this board are happy with how we are playing, how we are performing, and the results that we yield. Let that sink in. They are about to issue Ole with a new deal, which I expect to extend his contract, of course, beyond 2022 when the current one ends. It will probably stretch to around 2024, maybe even as far as 2025. Meaning if Ole fouls next year, there's going to be a big compensation payout. There is going to be a sum north of £20 million just to remove Ole, which means there's £20 million that will come out of the kitty of any new manager. For me, before securing top 4 this season, and before securing top 4 with genuine progression, so we finished the season 15 to 20 points better off, maybe even securing a trophy. Without even achieving that, they are sitting down with Ole and his representatives to plan out and sketch out a new deal to get and this will be done very, very quickly. Offering him an extra £2 million a year, this is really not going to take long at all. For me, I have to say this, and I have to be blunt about this. I'm disgusted. I am disgusted at the lack of standards that Manchester United Football Club have. Finishing in the top 4 is the only achievement the Glazers and this board, and the board are primarily made up of Glazers, care about. Winning the league title is not even in their mind. Not on their mind, not in their mind, not around their mind. It would be an amazing bonus if it was to happen, but it isn't a priority. Winning trophies doesn't matter. The only way Ole gets sacked is if Manchester United do not make the top 4. That is the standard that this board that we let off the hook week in, week out have set. It's embarrassing, and Manchester United Football Club are a spent force. They're a spent force as far as challenging for major honours is concerned. And even if you believe for one single second that Ole's still needed for the rebuild, the cultural rebuild, I could buy that, but not with you extending his contract by 2 to 3 years and paying him an extra £2 million a year. That is simply not required. Who is the manager that's going to follow on? That's the planning that should now be happening at the club 2 years into Ole, is who are we looking at next? Who are we looking at next, and when are they going to be ready? And for me, if we're looking at someone who might be ready in 2 or 3 years, we're looking at the wrong damn person. It shouldn't take us that much more to get back to where we need to be. I'm disgusted by this. We're going to share the link now in the comment section for you to come on and have your say. I know it's late. I know it's a Saturday night, but this is massive news that's come out. And for me, if you're watching on Twitter as well, I'm going to on my personal account is going to share the link. The link. I posted the wrong link on there. I'm going to share the link now underneath as a comment for you to call in via StreamYard if you want to have your say on Twitter. And I'm going to share the link in the comments section now. Make sure you do me a favor here on Twitter as it stands. Smash the like button right now, please. I know you don't want to like the news, as it were, but do it for me now. But a new deal, a £2 million a year pay rise. I want to go wash my mouth out with disgust. I feel dirty just saying it. I really, really do. Going to get KJ and Neeks on the line with me, on the stream with me right about now as well. I want to do some of your comments here. Thank you, Ole. New lifetime contract. Clearly a rival of Manchester United. There's no doubt about it. Liverpool fan here says, oh my God, I love this game. Well, I bet you do when hearing this news. Let's see what other people out here are saying here. Terry, why are you so calm? Did you know the only reason I'm not screaming is my daughter's not very well and my studio backs onto her bedroom and I'm going to wake her. And I don't want the wrath that comes with that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm self-preservation here. But for me, this is undoubtedly the worst decision we have made as a football club since appointing David Moyes. It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And remember who made this decision? The board that nobody wants to blame. Do you know what this means? It means we're going to suffer 2 or 3 more years of people screaming about tactics and Ole. Oh, nauseating. Nauseating. I'd rather rub a cheese grater down my dolphin's beak. I really, really would. Edward here says, brilliant news from a Chelsea fan. And the irony in it is this. Look at what rivals are saying. Look at what rivals are saying. And by the way, anyone who's fuming because they want Ole out, shame on you. Shame on you. Ole outers, shame on you. All your energy has been misspent on the wrong people for weeks, months, years. The organ grinders are the problem here. The decision makers are the problem here. Not the players, not the managers. Wake up. Smell the coffee. We're going to get Neeks on. We're going to get KJ on as well. Make sure you're hitting that like and share button for us. Gentlemen. Give me your instant reaction to this news. I'm going to go to Neeks first. Neeks looks like he's just, I don't even know what Neeks looks like. What are you saying, Neeks?
I'm laughing at your reaction. Sorry.
Oh, I'm so annoyed, bro. I'm so annoyed. It's unbelievable.
I'm not surprised. Like, that's why I'm neither here nor there. I'm not surprised. I feel like we may have even spoken about this recently, maybe a week or so ago. It makes sense. Like, we know the standards of the club has dropped in terms of top 4 being enough. That is the real issue. Top 4 is enough to secure a manager their position. They don't look anything past that. You mentioned it being possibly the worst decision since David Moyes. Appointing him, I disagree. I think giving Jose Mourinho that new contract when he was flirting with PSG, that was weak from Ed Woodward and the board to then sign him on a new contract and then not back him in the summer. It was just a double whammy, which they just effed themselves over and effed off in the process. As I said at the time, maybe a couple of weeks ago, them giving Solskjaer this new contract doesn't really mean anything. For me, it doesn't mean that, now they support him and they back him. If they don't back him in the summer, that tells me everything I need to know. If they do, it tells me everything I need to know. Him getting a new contract doesn't mean anything because he could have a 10-year contract. If he doesn't get top 4, he's getting sacked. So it doesn't really make a massive difference. But however, the reason why I say it makes sense to give him a new contract, remember going into this season, and we were talking about on the football terrace, and we were talking about it, and all the media were talking about Pep Guardiola. Is this his last year? Every time Man City lost or dropped points, every press conference, Pep Guardiola, new contract, what's going to happen? Uncertainty at the club, players, etc., etc. If Solskjaer, with all the drama around Manchester United already, if Solskjaer goes into next season with a 1-year contract, every single press conference, every single result is going to be speaking about whether him only being secure to the end of the season is disabling Manchester United. By keeping him, by securing him on a 2-year contract, 3-year contract, whatever it might be, it just puts to bed that kind of discussion, and it allows Manchester United and Solskjaer and the transfer committee, etc., to focus on securing their targets and the players to focus on playing their football, especially going to next season. Imagine how if you're going to try and sign new players in the summer and they don't even know if the club is backing the current manager. I don't think that's a good look as a club. So I think it makes sense to give him a new contract, but we understand that the fact that they're giving him one based on us getting top 4, as it looks like we're going to do, is the real problem.
And you know what? I understand a lot of the points you're making there, and I think some of them do make sense to me. You just need to give him a 1-year contract extension. It's giving him it's going to end up being 2 to 3 years with a £2 million a year extension on it. So to get rid of him, say we decide to, if he doesn't make top 4, we know we'll sack him. We might end up hemorrhaging an extra £20 million that we don't need to. And it's like you've said, that Jose new deal was one of the most despicable pieces of business in the history of football, because we gave him the new deal and literally within a month of giving it to him, told him that he couldn't buy the players he wanted and couldn't sell the players he wanted. And it ended up becoming toxic, and we ended up sacking him within 11 months of that deal. And it cost us over £20 million to get rid of him. And like I've said on the stream yesterday, every bit of criticism we throw at Man United, every manager, is repeating itself every time. Favoritism, damaging youth, bad tactics. A new manager could win the league with this squad. We've seen the same thing done over and over again. And the reason we see that is because the same methodology and same approach comes over and over again from this board. And if you really are fully backing Ole, then I actually think they are. I think they're fully backing Ole, because I think they've found a formula where they have made some subtle changes behind the scenes, and they believe that they can finish in the top 4 on a regular basis now. I think that's where they've found the formula where we've got the right blend of youth, we're signing the right players with the right mentality, and that's good enough to come 4th or 3rd or 2nd maybe. And that's the problem. We're not trying to win the league, and that's what scares me more than anything else. KJ, what's your thoughts, bro?
Play the music. Play it. Play it. Honestly. Okay, honestly, yeah. That's funny. The words are escaping my mouth. I'm speechless. It's so frustrating that they're giving Ole a new contract when top 4 is technically not secured yet. If they gave it to him when it was secured, I would have understood. I would have been like, okay, cool, innit? But this feels like it's just going to be Jose all over again. But the difference is he won't turn toxic. I think they found the guy that would be trying his best always, no matter what the situation is, and which I respect as a Manchester United manager. You always gotta try your best, even though there's adversity. But these guys are happy. They're happy with what's going on with the club. They're happy with the progression of us just being a top 4 team. And it's sad, really. It's sad, and I think as fans, if your eyes are not open to what is going on, I feel for you, because you'll be screaming and shouting at this guy, this manager, that at the end of the day, his employers are happy with. His employers are pleased with. His employers are saying, "Good job, Ollie. You're getting us where we want," which is not the top of the league, which is in the top 4. We've got 2 options now as a fan base. We have 2. Option 1, we try and fight and try and do something against these owners. Try and make a difference in the way that we run. Try and make a difference in the people who are in certain positions, and maybe hopefully one day pray that someone comes and buys us, and we're free of this generational bondage that the Glazers have, that these pagans have over us. Or 2, expectations, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. Winning the league, let it go. Signing the best players, we may do sometimes, but being a consistent team, let it go. Champions League,
Elsa FC, bruv. Elsa FC, bruv. Got to let it go, because at the end of the day, and do you know what it is? This is why I say to people, the manager system. The reason why it just doesn't bother me in the grand scheme of things is, we sign a manager with better coaching and better system, then the very best we've got to hope for under these owners is becoming what Tottenham fans and the like talk about. Oh, we're just happy to have the good football. I'm not happy with that level either. I don't want to be anywhere near any of these things, and that's the fear for me. We're going to start getting some callers here. Kevin says, looking forward to the match tomorrow. I'm hoping we get the 3 points. I'm confident we'll get top 4. And you know what, Kev? This is the thing. I want us to win every game still. I want us to make top 4. I don't want Man United to become unsuccessful. This is why it's such a... I don't even know what the right word for it is. Like conundrum maybe in my head. Yeah. Just like, someone asked me earlier, actually, would you be... If getting relegated and losing all our players meant that we got bought by a brilliant billionaire that wanted to turn us back into a superpower, would you take that short-term pain for the long-term benefit? And I was like, yeah, I think I would. If I knew what was coming. And again,
guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed.
And just, then I was like, if that's what I definitely get, then I would take the hit. It's like someone's like, would you do 5 years in prison for like 10 million? Yes, I would.
Listen,
money's in my bank account, I'll do it. Like,
remember what I said? Remember I asked this question already. I said, is top 4 the worst thing could happen to us?
Yeah, but top 4 is not enough. Missing out on top 4 is not enough, because the Glazers are still here. So what happens is, new manager comes in and the ceiling is still, or the target is still top 4. It just means we play better. Maybe there's less infighting on Twitter because we're playing better football. But ultimately, we're going to be we are going to be Alex and Eleanor. That's what's going to happen.
Yes.
And you know what's right about that as well? This is
I'm Alex, by the way.
I'm not going to go. I'll be Eleanor. I'm not going to go over the same example again. But I've explained on the terrace many times before about the debit card reissuing that we did at the bank I worked for, and how each time we improved the service, it got massively better. But within a period of time, people moaned about that being too slow. We could bring in and make better football, but not win the major titles. And that will wear thin. The novelty of that will wear off, and we will want more. And that's why I say to people, fighting over who the manager is immaterial. It's elementary, as Sherlock Holmes would say, until we have the club being run in a conducive way that will yield success. In the medium term, it's always going to fail. How do I know this to be an absolute certainty? Because every poorly run business on the history of planet Earth fails. Every poorly run club, every poorly run individual athlete fails. Every time you see like a great boxer fail, and then the autobiography comes out or an interview, it's like, yeah, I didn't prepare. I was looking at the next fight. I ate too many Mr. Kipling's cakes. I didn't train hard enough. I was drinking in camp, whatever it may be. It always happens. We're going to go some calls now. Indiana's with us. When I see him unmute, I'm going to get Indiana on. We've got original base Annie backstage as well. Indiana's here. What's your reaction to this breaking news tonight, Indiana? Ollie's new deal, £2 million a year pay rise. What are you saying?
I don't really have a problem with it, if I'm honest. A new contract. I think it was always going to come when they put these new roles in for McKenna, not McKenna, for
Fletcher and Murtough.
Fletcher and John Murtough, yeah. It makes sense that they would give him a new contract. Obviously, the Glazers are still in charge. It's still going to be an issue. They are going to be an issue. But we don't know what these new roles are going to bring in terms of recruitment. Look what all the managers have had to deal with when it comes to players coming in. Is Ole the guy who's going to win us Champions League and trebles? No, I really don't think he is. I've never said that. But if the plan is to promote these two people into these new jobs for a cultural rebuild, if you like, and they have that relationship with Ole, why do we have a problem with that? We could get a new manager in, and they could have a bad relationship, right? That would be even worse.
So, yeah, bro, my thought on it is this: if you were demanding that challenging for the title was the minimum expectation, you would extend the contract by a further year and say, we'll extend now to 2023, but you're getting no pay rise, but put a clause in it that says if you win X, Y, and Z trophy by the end of this season and or next season, once you win it, you get that pumper pay rise in. That tells you you're incentivizing him to push on further than he is now. Giving somebody an extra 3 years on their deal, an extra £6 million in that time period in salary, tells them they're doing a good job. You would not get a pay rise. I would not get a pay rise unless my boss is satisfied.
Terry, there's a difference here.
Where's the difference? I wouldn't get a pay rise.
The difference is
my goals.
No, I hear that. I get you. But that's like saying this squad is good enough to do it anyway. Let's just say for a second that Murtough and Fletcher realize the same things that we do, that this squad is not good enough anyway, and it's about rebuilding the squad, and then Ole moves on. I think the problems are deeper at Man United. That's where I am with it.
I hear you. I do hear you on that.
Any manager's not going to win us the league with this squad. I'm sorry.
No one's arguing about the squad.
Good point.
But I'm arguing is, yes, they might see the light and see what we need. Do you trust that Wallad and that Pagan to give us the funds and go out
KJ,
to get those things?
You know me.
Exactly. So that's why I can't be calm.
I hear
that.
I think what we need to differentiate between, because I'm just going through Twitter at the same time. Some people are mad that Solskjaer's been given a new contract, i.e., the man Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a new contract. Some people are mad that a manager has got a new contract for getting top four. So that's two different things. Some people don't want Solskjaer at the club. Some people want the board and the owners to raise the standard of the club and the expectation of the manager. Can we differentiate right here where everyone stands? Because I'm a little bit confused.
No, Nick, I think you have to look at it
one at a time. One at a time. Go on, KJ.
I'm the latter. I'm annoyed that these guys think, oh, top four is enough, no trophies is enough. Let's give him a pay rise. Let's give him an extension. That's great work. I don't care about the structure that they've put in. They've clearly did it just to maintain a minimum, just a base level of top four is fine.
I hear that. I hear you, but I think you do have to look at it as fresh start. I mean, my mental health. I cannot look at it as we're going to be in this forever. Trust me.
We are going to be
on medication.
We are going to be in this forever. But to answer Neeks' question, I'm not annoyed that Solskjaer specifically has been given this new deal. I'm beyond, and you know that, Neeks, because
we should make it clear. I
was going to make a point. You know that because of what me and you at Fan Park Live over 2 years ago were debating with people, and someone actually called me out on it yesterday and said that I wasn't telling the truth when I said that I've been long over wanting managers sacked. I want to protect the position of Man United manager. And what I mean by protect that position is we shouldn't have the expectation in that finishing in the top four with no trophies yields you a new deal. Now, I understand where Indiana's coming from, that maybe we want to keep him on longer while we build this new structure so it's ready for somebody else to come along. And you know what? If in 2.5, 3 years' time it turns out that's what we were doing, I'll just come back on and apologize. Until this is the way I live my whole life, whether it comes to football right through to God. Show me cast iron proof that's true, and I'll believe it. If you can't, I'm going to be skeptical, and I will remain skeptical the whole time. I'm going to add more callers in now. We've had a comment here from iTest. He says, Itest has now retired. Worst day ever. Well, Itest, as we've told you all along, and you didn't want to listen, the biggest problem is the people that run our football club, not the managers.
Man said they might change. He's like, oh, they might change.
I remember that.
I've got a little request for Darren Fletcher. If Darren Fletcher is watching, can you do me a favor, Fletcher? Because this would just be funny. Can you change your surname to Riggs, please? Are you guys Riggs and Murtough? I never watched Lethal Weapon. You never watched Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
Change
No,
the name to Riggs. That would be funny.
We don't want a Riggs at the club. Trust me.
Yeah. We're gonna add Jem to the stream now. Jem, what you saying, bro?
Not much.
Here we go.
Listen. Guess who's back? Back again. Ollie's back. Tell a friend. No, I'm joking. On a serious level, look, it doesn't surprise me that he's actually been appointed. What surprised me the most of it is the timing of it, because obviously the ball's comfortable. Obviously they're happy with the progression at Manchester United to be even offering in this deal in the first place. But what gets me, and I do think you will get top 4, but what if he doesn't get top 4? What if you did slip out and finish 5th and he'd even given it to
I don't think it matters, Jem.
No, one second. But we have to say, Jem, because we have to be clear. This is not official. As the report said, as Terry said at the beginning, they've agreed a 9-year deal, £9 million a year deal. I think it might be about 3 years, but they are going to sit down for like talks in the next few days or whatever it might be, probably over the international break. We don't know. So we actually don't know when it's going to be signed. It may be pending finishing in top 4
prior to
it may be announced at the end of the season. So we have to be careful in terms of necessarily saying, oh, he's going to get it regardless if he falls out the top 4. I think the fact that they're talking about it is because they probably, like the rest of us in the stream, are at least over 50% sure that Man United is going to get into the top 4.
Yeah, and I think on top of that as well, see, for me, if they said, this is the new deal, we're willing to give it to you, but the end of the season needs to be get to the final of the Europa League, and we want to not just see you finish in the top 4, we want to see you smash it, like secure it with 5 games to go. And that way you get a new deal, and it's only a 1-year extension, so it's till 2023, and there's a small pay rise for you. That wouldn't trigger me as much because you would see there's step changes to this, and if you go backwards next year, you're gone again. Like that way, I could accept that. But the way I read this and the way it's looking, it's going to be new 4-year deal, like 4 years from now, which will take us to 2025, and it's going to be an extra £2 million. And the worst part is, within 2 years, we'll sack him. Maybe even within a year, we'll sack him. Instead of it only costing us like nothing to get rid of him or a couple of million, it's going to cost us £20+ million, and that just eats into the budget of the next person.
Terry,
do you know what, Terry? I didn't want that to happen. If Ollie doesn't finish top 4, I'd actually like to see him stay, because that would tell me that there is a plan. There is something there. If he drops out the top 4, we just get another manager. It's the same cycle. So if he does drop out the top 4 and there is a plan, right, with the director of football, technical director and manager working together, and they're saying, look, this is a new structure, we're moving in a new direction, this is a fresh start, I would actually have no issue with Ollie staying in the job, because it would tell me there is actually a plan.
You do know, if once Ollie gets sacked, Fletcher and Murtough are going with him, fam, and they're taking back the reins. They're taking back. This is just a little experiment, a little thing to cover their backs a bit. And when it goes tits up, get them gone again. See, we told you that it doesn't work. We are taking control again.
KJ,
I can see already.
What stresses you Man United fans out the most? Is it the fact of the length of the contract? Is it the length of the contract that is?
It's the reasons why he's getting. It's the reason why he's getting it. He's not getting it because he's done something amazing, like he's got top 4 2 years in a row with some great new points and also a trophy or 2 behind him. It's the bare minimum. Here you go. Rewarding the bare minimum.
If he comes second with 20 more points than last year, won the FA Cup and the Europa League, and then got a new deal, I wouldn't be surprised. And you would say that's genuine progression. But I still think he's going to get a new deal if we scrape top 4. I think Goldbridge tweeted something the other day. I saw his tweet that I can't quite remember the context of it, but it basically read something along the lines of just to make you all aware, you do realise Ollie's going to get a new deal at the end of year.
I saw that.
And a lot of people have felt that for a long time. We're going to go to some of the callers waiting backstage. We're going to go to Original Base Annie first.
Terry, can I just say before he's? I just want to say, it would be a worse summer if we go into it with uncertainty about our manager. We already know it's going to be a bad transfer window because of COVID and the fact that we got the Glazers. Going in with uncertainty of the future of the manager will make it 10 times worse.
I understand that view. Original Base Annie, what do you want to say, mate?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, bro.
Hey, my brother, come on now.
Well gone, KJ. Well gone, Neeks.
He's saying,
What am I, rump roast?
He with the walk on, Neeks, walk on, KJ. Hello, sir.
Hi,
How you doing?
How you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
This makes me sick. Like, Terry, I've been watching you since like 4K subs. Like, I've been there when you were screaming, these men upstairs, these pagans, as KJ said, need to go and they need to get gone. Because, like, what's it gonna take for United fans to actually be on the same page? Because we're so divided. Like, guys, what is it gonna take for us to come together and be like, all right, we need to really, really settle this? Like, these men upstairs are actually the root of the problem.
Do you know what, bro? I'm glad you've come on and said that, because you've been. I know you have, because your username, I've known it for years since no one was watching. I've been talking about these guys being the problem. What you'll find with a lot of the Hart and Ollie outers, they would try and the way the article is sort of constructed. It kind of reads like Ollie's helped put together this new structure. So they'll try and twist it into, Ollie's like finessed them into giving him a new deal. Ollie's convinced them. Ollie's like hoodwinked them, and they'll settle for that and go, see, still Ollie's like sort of like finessing his new deal. Something along those lines is what they'll say, right? Just to get that caveat in. But the irony in it is this: if Ollie has fraudulently wangled himself a new deal, again, our owners are idiots. No matter how you play it, no matter what you say to make it Ollie's fault, it shows our owners and our board are knobheads. To get what I mean?
Is anyone surprised? Anyone surprised?
I'll say this now. Share this with every single Ollie outer you know, ladies and gentlemen. If an Ollie outer can come on here now and convince me that this is an Ollie issue, not a board issue, that Ollie's been given a new deal, and you can make me stutter and make me go, I've got no response, £1,000 cash in your pocket, right? No. I'll give you $5,000 cash now if you can come. $5,000 cash.
On here,
This is an Ollie issue and not a board issue now. 5G cash, bang, in your pocket. I'll do it right now. No one's going to do it. No one's going to take the challenge up because they know, bruv. And we know what the excuse will be. Ollie's finessed it. Ollie's done it by fraudulent. Ollie's convinced them that DNA is a real thing at Man United. Cool. Let's say all that's true. They fell for it then, didn't they? I mean, he's literally hoodwinked them. Do you know what I mean? Ollie's basically sent him an email saying, hello, I'm a prince from Nigeria. I need your help with if that's what you're saying, that means they're stupid. Do you know what I mean? These are meant to be highly trained, highly educated business people. And they're not. Well, they are actually in the financial. They don't know how to make a football club win a title, or they're not trying to win a title. And neither of those two things are acceptable. Original Base Andy, big up yourself for coming on, bro. Really appreciate all the support you give the channel as well.
Guys.
Look after yourself,
Thanks for
man.
having me on.
Never an issue. Whenever you call, we'll get you on. Man's been here for time. Next on the show, we're gonna get Matt on with us here. Matt, what do you want to say, bro?
Yeah, I'm not happy. It's not good, really, is it? I've given up the point of caring, really. We're not going to win the league with these owners. It's been 8 years, and that's ever since Ed Woodward stood in power. He is literally criminal mastermind. Honestly, yeah, we're done out here. We're done out here.
Listen, I feel your pain in what you're saying. There's a comment here from Kevin that says, I'm neither. Ollie has done the best he can. I do think Ollie's done the best he can, and that's the thing there. Matt, thank you for calling in, mate, and having your say. Ollie certainly has done the best. I personally think he's hit his ceiling, which is why we need to look to move him on. This is why this deal is really triggering me now. Fixer's with us now. Fixer, what do you want to say, brother?
Hi, Terry. What are you guys saying?
Look at
Ole
my face,
at the
Fletcher.
wheel.
I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm well happy. Let's do this.
Well, let me tell you guys something here. I don't think you guys should be that panicked about it. Yeah. I mean, the way I see it, yeah. Ole deserves a new contract. Let's not beat about the bush, okay? Let's just look at it in perspective, okay? KJ, I can see your face. You're not happy with what I said, but
No,
hear me out.
I'm confused. I'm waiting for you to.
Hear me out. All right, how many managers have we had since Fergie left? We had David Moyes,
4.
LVG, Mourinho, okay?
And Ole.
Out of all those managers, who would you say is the best out of all three? I think it's Ole. If it, pound for pound, I mean, his football is better than Mourinho and LVG. I'm not even going to talk about Moyes because he's a foregone conclusion. But the point I'm trying to make is this is more about job security than anything else. This is more of a corporate thing. If he does sign the contract at the end of the day, why I say it's a good thing is because he can't go forward with any sort of real. He can't go forward any sort of real plan without that security behind him that he signed a contract.
I agree.
He knows he's safe for the next couple of years or 3.
Fixer, I understand that, but you know what? I've been sitting there thinking, and it's a fairly decent point, but I've been saying it for ages, and I'll stand by it to not hypocrisize myself. Man United have to look beyond managers and have a club structure and club plan. Now, if they think Ole's needed to finish off this rebuild, it shouldn't take more than 2 to 3 years to get the structure in place. Like, if we give him a new deal to 2024 even, why is it taking 6 years to build a foundation? That's if a builder turn up my house, it's going to take me 6 years to build you a foundation. I'm not employing him. Like, that's too long.
They're trying to recreate the whole Fergie thing. That's why, if you notice, they're trying to recreate the whole Fergie dynasty. That's why they got the Nicky Butt, the Darren Fletcher. They're trying to recreate something from the past. They're trying to bring that era back.
I hear you, bro. But for me, we need a better manager. We need a better. If they're doing all that anyway, you can do it with a better manager. Give Ole a technical job and bring in someone that's. Ole isn't taking us further as a coach.
Another thing, sorry, Stevie. Another thing I wanted to say was a lot of people are talking about, he's signing 10 million a year. These guys are in an industry where money is abundant. Okay.
Yep.
Like he already has money.
Fixer.
Aren't
you Ole out?
I'm not Ole out or Ole in. I'm Ole doubt. I doubt his abilities, but I'm not really Ole out or in.
I hear you, but that's what I'm saying. I understand that. Look, when I'm talking about Ole's money, I'm not looking at it from a point of view of comparing it to what the average working class person like I earns.
Exactly. They're already in an industry flush with cash. I mean, another couple of million is nothing. It's really nothing. Think about it.
£9 million. I swear, £9 million makes Ole the second highest paid manager in the Premier League, and that's too much.
But he works for Manchester United.
Exactly. He works for Man United.
He works for the richest club in the world.
I don't care.
I think we need to look at it. And another thing you guys said is in plans, but they haven't actually signed it. It's not official yet. It's not official yet.
It's not official, but it's
not official just yet.
It's coming. It's coming.
I knew about this last week.
Exactly. There's too many rumors and there's too many little fires and noises starting. Ole's getting a new deal. Fixer, thank you for coming on, bro, and having your say. Ole doubt. I love it, bro.
Terry, just looking at some reports, I think Ancelotti is the 5th highest on the 4th highest on 11 million. So Solskjaer will come just below him, and Bielsa's on 8 million.
Yeah.
It does beg the question, though, doesn't it? Like, how does it? Have you guys actually thought about what the board's actually seen in terms of justification for giving him this contract?
Yes.
Like, what reasons have they?
Yes,
top four.
You've been saying it. Their reasoning and what they see is top 4 and money. That's it.
Yeah, listen, every time he gets,
it's got to be more than that, KJ.
No, but
it's not Jem. You don't understand.
Every time he gets,
so you're Sneaks. Let me do this, please. Jem, you do not understand how basic and stupid these guys are.
That's baby.
They see top 4 equals money. Get that? They see Champions League equals money. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he only wants 9 million. That's more money for us. Yo, how many players that we need to sign more players? How cheaply can we get them? Because there's more money for us. Money is the reason why Ollie's still getting a new contract. That's the only credentials they care about. Yes,
No, I disagree.
Yeah, I don't think you understand.
I thought I agree.
It can't. It can't.
Hang
It can't.
on.
It can't be
Whoa, guys, one at a time. So, if you disagree, Indiana, I mean this with respect. What else? What else have they seen? Sorry. What else have they seen? And secondly, why is not making the top four been the only thing that's had other managers sacked?
No, I agree with that. I disagree with the fact we don't spend money. We spend stupid amounts of money on the wrong players. Like, this is the point, is it not? That they're supposed to be smart businessmen. They can't keep dropping out the top four and then throwing money at it to try and fix the problem. Like, we've been asking for a plan. We've been asking for something. We've been asking for a director of football. We've been asking for a technical director. Yep. Now, if these two people think Ollie is the right guy to build a squad, then should we not be behind it?
Indiana, you're getting twisted. Indiana, you're getting twisted. They don't. No, the thing is, Indiana, it doesn't matter what those two guys think about Ollie, because John Murtough and Ollie are on the same level in the structure. So it doesn't matter what he thinks, because Ed Woodward is in charge of both of them. It's not like John Murtough's above them, and Darren Fletcher's above, and then Ollie. They're on the same level.
Indiana, you make a good point in terms of we've got to see how this transpires. And like I've said already, if this moves forward and we see further improvements, we see better recruitment, we see ourselves become title challengers and everything else, then I'll look back and say, do you know what? I had nothing to be worried about and I'm wrong. But for me, I need to see the changes. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm Cat Moon and Man United at Alfie Moon. And, you know, I'm Alfie Moon and Man United a cat. She's cheated too many times for me just to take her words seriously. And now she's in bed with Phil Mitchell. So I ain't trusting ever again. She's with Phil Mitchell. I'm a week behind, actually. I've got to catch up. But this is the point. I just don't trust them as far as I can throw them. There's been far too many mistakes, far too many issues, far too many bad appointments, bad recruitment decisions, too many issues with this club for the past 8 to 9 years for me to sit here and say there's something about this deal that smells fishy. And maybe you're right. Maybe they just feel that with Murtough coming in and Fletcher into more powerful positions, they want to keep a little bit of continuity. Fine. Extend the deal by a year, small pay rise, not a £2 million pay rise and a 3-year, 4-year extension on top. That for me
depends,
is
doesn't it?
Maybe they got a project.
It depends.
Got a project.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What if it is a 3-year plan?
Yeah.
What if that's listen, Terry, listen, you run a business. Would you like to run a business where it's you're constantly throwing money at it? Like, these are businessmen first. So they have to make top 4 sustainable. Do I think they've got a plan to win trophies? Of course they don't. Of course they don't. I agree with what KJ's saying. No. But we listen. We're more likely to challenge for things if we have a squad. Like, people moan about our midfield. Do you know why we play the style of football we do? Because our midfield aren't good enough to receive the ball, so we have to bypass them. Like, let's at least identify.
I hear
that. So at the very worst, we can get past the semi-finals, get into a final and win an FA Cup or something.
I know you're going for the whole, if I focus on the negative, I'll just end up on medication. So let me do the blind hope thing. I can't do the blind hope thing anymore. I've been doing it for 8 years. The blind hope thing is done. I already believe in God. I don't need any more of the blind.
But KJ,
you know what I'm saying?
But KJ, would you not prefer a plan other than?
I
would prefer them to be good at what they do, and they have shown me no reason for me to believe in that, plan or not.
Do you know what?
Can I ask you a question though?
Indiana, though. Sorry, let me just go back to your other point. I don't want to get lost in conversation. Where you spoke about, like, do you think they have a plan for winning titles? The answer is no. I suppose there's 2 elements to my frustration. Let's go back to why I'm actually annoyed. I'm annoyed that people are not focusing on the real problem at the football club, which is the fact that the owners have a lower level of expectation. Do I think they have a plan to make us sustainably achieve top 4? Yeah, I think they do have a plan for that because they want the money. Do they have if we come second and third 3 or 4 years running, but need 2 or 3 extra stars that might cost £200 million to make us title challengers, are they going to spend the money to do it? Or are they going to improve the manager who might want 15, 16, 17 million pound a year to make us successful, who's going to demand more out of a squad? Or are they going to accept someone like Ollie, who can keep us maintain the top four. I think they're going to pick the latter. And for me, that's where my frustration comes in. It isn't even so much, like I've said, I'm not annoyed with Ole in any of this. I'm annoyed at two things: how the club has lowered the standards, but how fans won't focus on that, and they'll focus on attacking whoever the manager may be or whoever the player they dislike the most is, whether it's Paul Pogba, Rashford, Scott McTominay or Dan James. And you're focusing on immaterial things that in the grand scheme of things don't matter. It's about looking at the way the club's run. So my frustration sitting, and I got even my own self got caught off track a little bit because we talk about other things. Everything you're saying is right, Indiana. But that's why I'm frustrated, because the expectation, the plan isn't to make us, in my opinion, get back to being the best footballing team in the country, winning the titles.
I think you have to wait.
That's what I said.
Summer, though, mate. I really do, because I agree with you. They don't want to spend 16, 17 million pound on a manager. They've obviously gone down the route of spending 9 million on Ole. Cool. But what if they get into summer and they end up going for top transfer targets that you guys want and spend the money?
Then my
I didn't even finish his question.
And given Ole the backing in terms of the players he wants and the tools he needs to then move forward.
Go on, KJ.
If that happens, then I will be like, okay, cool. I'm getting the proof and the evidence I need to start believing in said process. But tell me right now, no proof, no summer, no transfers, I need to believe in it and have faith in it. I can't.
Like I said earlier, Jem, if this appointment of the director of football and technical director renewing Ole's deal yields these brilliant signings, like you've said, and we progress further up the league and we start challenging, and then the plan comes to fruition and it's medium to long term and it looks great, I'll come back and say, do you know what? I was wrong about that element. They did change, and I'm grateful they have done. But until that point, I can't accept it. The fact that I feel like, and the only thing where I've got that quantum of solace, that little sliver of hope, is that we've done the director of football and technical director element. But the thing that I fear the most in this decision is what looks like the length of the extension they're going to give, coupled with the extra money. And I know that if Ole doesn't have a good, because I think Ole's limited, if we then don't make the top four because Chelsea progress next year, Liverpool bounce back, and Spurs are a different animal, and we don't make it, we sack him. And when we sack managers, we have no idea who they're then going to go after and appoint. Maybe Murtough and Fletcher will get to do it. But then we've got to pay him out. And the whole thing is just, it feels like the board are going all in with this new plan that you guys think they have in place. And I'll just take it as read that they have for a moment. It's like we're going all in with it. And I'm just like, you've done that before and then pulled the fucking rug. I'm scared they're going to do it again. Why? Because of the history they've demonstrated to us. It's not like Chelsea, we're all in a peak tongue with the dude that was there before Marina.
Yeah.
And then you rechange it. And then you change. Yeah, that's the one. And then you change it all. That's what's in my mind. I want to add some more callers to this, though, now. We've got Jerry with us. Jerry, what are you saying, mate?
We've actually done you that, to be fair. Like, we're done. The thing is, like, I'm not angry at Ole, because obviously I'm Ole. I've been supporting Ole ever since I got a job. The thing is that annoys me is this like going to be similar to the 2019 after PG game when Rio Ferdinand the oldest big mouth and said, "Oh, I just want to give you a contract." And as soon as got a contract, look what happened. We lost a lot of games and then we dropped our top four. This feels like it might happen again. He drop out, he'll drop out top four, and then what happened? He gets sacked, and new manager comes in, gets the game, asks for his targets, and after, for example, Sancho, what happened? They pay it off. Like this will happen again. Like the Maguire thing.
Jerry, we've got some really bad. Jerry, got some really bad connection issues. Are you using Bluetooth or something? Yeah, I'm sorry. It's really, really crackly. Try and get that sorted, and we'll try and get you back on again, bro. Sorry about that, mate.
Can I just say, I understand there's PTSD with a lot of Man United fans. So obviously, it's gone back to 2019, etc., etc. If we drop out of top four this year, it's not because Solskjaer gets a new contract, because our form at the moment is already shaky prior to any new contract, whatever. It ain't because of that. But obviously, people might use it as that. Oh, that happened last time. It's not going to be because of that. But I just feel, and again, I understand the length being an issue for you, Terry, and the amount that he's getting. I understand that. But because, and I said to KJ, I'm not saying you need to be happy, but if we understand what this board is and who they are and how they operate, being mad that Solskjaer's got a new contract, which just all it does is confirm what we already know about the board in terms of the expectations. I don't understand to be mad about it because he needs to get a new contract before this summer. He has to.
No,
go into the transfer
I agree
window.
with that.
So I see. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I get your point. I suppose it's that kind of as you said there, like the being mad point is I don't trust them in terms of what they're doing. I don't necessarily think he does need a new deal before the summer begins. I don't trust that they'll even stick to the new deal and the new ideas that come in with that. And it's just something about it. It just smells off to me, and I'm not even too sure what it is. And maybe it is the PTSD thing. We've added Aryan to the stream here. What you saying, bro?
I keep hearing everyone saying Solskjaer's reached his ceiling and everything, but I don't agree because he's reached his ceiling with this squad, a squad that has lacked investment in the last couple of years. He's not been back through the summer. He's not got his targets, and still he has exceeded our expectations. So I don't see where the thought of him not deserving a contract comes from. Keep the Glazers aside, keep the whole board thing aside. As a manager, what he's done and achieved with the squad that he's had at his hand, no one thought we would be where we are this season. You can argue that other teams have underachieved and everything, but I still think you have to give Solskjaer the props for taking the squad to where he has without the backing that he's with this board. In addition to that, I would like to say with the signing of John Murtough as DOF and getting Darren Fletcher, you have to see that a club like Manchester United, where we thought this would never happen, and we've been waiting for such a long time for such a change to happen in the boardroom. Of course, it's a small change, but the biggest thing is the change happened, and that is important for us because now in the near future we could get Van der Sar in and a more experienced DOF. The thing was the position was created, which needs to be seen as a positive, and Solskjaer has created that change. He's the one who's created that change while he's the manager. He's taking things into his own hand. So if the board is backing his decisions of changing the structure of the club, I believe that the board should back in the summer, and it will be reflected whether he deserves his contract.
So I've got a question before you, everyone jumps. I've got a question for Aryan, my guy, by the way. Nice to see you on stream again.
That's good.
He wasn't backed, and you agree he wasn't backed.
Mm-hmm.
You say he should be backed.
Yes.
Do you honestly believe that this board, this ownership, this structure will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer next year or coming in the summer?
You can call me a blind believer, but I do believe they will because they have decided to change the club structure, and because of this manager, and I believe they have to prove their worth of giving this contract to him right now by backing him in the summer, getting his targets, and then we can move from there. The Tampa Bay.
Sorry, I was wanting to interject really quickly because I lose my train of thought. I'm very, very sorry. My issue isn't with Ole per se getting a new deal. It's everything I think is wrong with the club outside of it. So I don't think they will back him. And what I mean by back him is land the players he needs. I still think, and I know that we've got John Murtough here in the technical director, and we'll see. If I'm proven wrong, I always admit when I'm wrong. I still think we'll scrimp and scrape. I think if Ahmad looks really good between now and the end of the season, that's an absolute hell no to Jadon Sancho coming in as an example. So I don't know if he'll get, when I say backed, we'll spend some money, but whether or not it's what Ole actually needs or not, the proof's going to be in the pudding. I suppose my biggest issue here is that this is actually going to create more hate towards Ole as opposed to the club making these decisions. So what you're going to see when things don't go right is, see, it's because Ole's here and we didn't get the manager we needed and da-da-da-da-da-da. But people are just not going to look beyond the end of their nose and look at the real root cause of all of our problems here. And I get your point that I think they're trying to change it, and it's good that they've done that. But I don't think, because the one thing of proof we do have is whenever they make top four, that summer after making top four, they tend to invest less money. And each time we've made top four, we've needed additional money to push on to that next level, which is securing top four easier as a bare minimum or challenging for a title. And I feel like if we come second this year and finish 15, 16, 17 points behind City, and a couple of our youngsters look good towards the end, maybe pick up a trophy, I think we'll get even less investment because they'll say, we're right where we want to be. And that's the concern. Well, I know if we dropped out the top four and we went and employed Nagelsmann, we'd go big. Go on, Julian, mate. Have what you want, mate. There you go, boy. There's some money
For one window.
And that's my issue. And the problem is, the reason why it annoys me is let's just remove. I do think Ollie's hit his ceiling managerially, but forget that. That's not even why I'm overtly annoyed. It's part of the reason I'm annoyed he's getting the contract. But the biggest reason is it's wash, rinse, repeat each time with the management and the way we run things. And we've said there's a new structure in place. I need to see the proof in that pudding. But what all the fans are going to focus on, whether it's Ollie or Nangusman, or if Eleanor got away, it'd be Harry Redknapp, right? It doesn't matter who's in charge, who's doing it. You only ever focus on the manager. Like, that's the real problem. And that's where my issue, I think that's where my anger stems from when I see this. It's like everyone's screaming, Ollie's ruining the club, and then the board are giving him a new deal. It's like that should make everybody wake up instantly, but it doesn't.
But here's the difference now. Here's the difference is that over the past, how long the Glazers been there? Like 15 odd years, right? During this time, it's always been the manager going to Ed Woodward. These players aren't good enough. I need this. Now we have 3 people on the same page saying, look, these players aren't good enough. We need this player in. We need that player in. Like, I have to give that a chance. I have to.
What difference will that really make? Does it?
Well, that makes it.
Does it actually matter who goes to this idiot, bro?
It does. Of course,
I
it makes
think
it helps influence, KJ.
I think you have to wait. I think you have to give this new structure the time.
Listen. Are you guys not listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm saying that. I don't agree. For 2 seconds, I will happily wait till the summer to see how this plays out. I've already said this. If this goes well, I will come back and be like, "Rah, man was stressed for no reason. Man was stressed because I didn't trust it, but I should trust it." But to say to me now, just because these things have happened, I must now start to believe or give it blind faith and hope. I am not doing it. I'm not.
No one's telling you
So
to.
then,
Though,
basically,
KJ.
I think
No one's told you to, bro.
we're not telling you to believe.
These men are saying to do it, bro. I don't care if this.
No, I'm not telling you to believe in the project. I'm telling you, I'm trying to give you a different perspective of why I believe in the project, because I've never seen in the whole time in the 14 years that I've supported this club, I've not seen such a big structural change in a long time. And the fact that has come, I'm ready. I have waited 8.5, 9 years for a title. Like, I'm ready to give it another summer. I have waited so long. I mean, what's one more summer going to do for me? I want to see that change, and I want to see that change.
I'll be right here for you.
You know what? I'll be back. I'll be back to you
guys,
and prove me wrong. Yeah.
Let me just say this again, very public and openly. I hope I am so wrong. You won't see me go live if it all goes tits up. You won't see me go live when it goes tits up, smiling and laughing, going, "See, I told you." That won't happen. I'll be fuming still, even though I feel like it's inevitable. I'm a bit more in KJ's camp. I understand the points Indiana, Jim, and Ina made. Like, I'm not saying your points are wrong. I don't know if they'll happen, but logically, you're all speaking sense. So please don't take any of my actions as disregarding what you're saying as being stupid. It certainly isn't. It's very articulate points that are being made. It absolutely is.
I agree with you, Terry. I agree with you. I don't trust Woodward. I don't trust Woodward. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there's a plan. Like, there has to be a plan for anything to change.
Now, there does need to be a plan, and we do need to address things and do stuff differently. Super Chat here says it's not exactly true that they don't spend when qualified for the Champions League. We spent 53 million after LVD's first year and 89 million after Jose's first year. Both had Champions League.
The Jose's first year don't count because we still finished 6th that year. The only reason why we got Champions League was through the Europa League.
But we still won a trophy.
In terms of league position, we were still 6th, and that's what they cared about. They cared about being in top 4, because the Champions League, the Europa League money is still not as much for winning it as it is for just qualifying in the top 4. You still get more money for qualifying top 4. So that's why they
you always make it money, didn't you? With them.
That's what the Glazers care about. That's everything the Glazers care about.
Listen to me. You are a rival fan, so I understand why you probably don't get it. They do not care about football or how we progress as a football club.
I do get you.
Yeah. All it is is monetary gain for their pockets, my brother.
It's just a complete opposite to
You got to
my
think
team.
about this. You got to think about this. You got to think about it this way, right? So what they've done, and I know when you talk about the shares they sold or they're selling, people say, but that's not actually Man United's money. That's shares they own in the club. Just think about it this way: they bought a club for nothing on bank loans, which the club pays. They then got the debt to a point where no bank wanted to refinance them because of the global crash that happened in 2008. So they created, I don't really understand this element of banking, but they basically floated them on the stock. They first of all did some bonds and raised money against them. Then they floated them on the stock market. And obviously people bought the shares, so they made loads of money. But they bought lots of shares as well out of their own personal wealth. But the share price has risen. Why? Because of what Man United have done on and off the field over that period of time. Even though we haven't won a Premier League, our share price has still gone up. They're now selling shares in Man United, making hundreds of millions of pounds of a profit and investing that into their personal lives. So they bought the club for nothing. They take dividends out of it. They use the club as an asset to secure lending and other deals. And now they're using their shares that have been generated and grown through the football club's achievements and global fan base. And they're using it to... we are the definition of a cash cow for the Glazers. It's unbelievable, and that's why I don't trust them one single bit. Ian, thank you for coming on the show, mate. Really appreciate it. Go to one more call here. We're gonna get Arsan on the show. How you doing, bro?
I'm cool, bro. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. What do you want to say, brother?
I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna get angry. This was predictable. Just the other day when they were saying about director of football. Got a bit excited, and then it's Ole, it's Fletcher and Murtough, more inside people coming in. You just can't trust the Glazers. At the end of the day, it stinks of inside jobs, friends coming into jobs, and this whole new Ole deal. It's a case of they haven't learnt their lessons. I mean, last time they said, "Oh, we're going to wait until the summer." Ole went on a good run, and there we go. They gave him the job. Now, again, we're currently on a good run, but we know Ole's United team are like waves in the ocean. You get a high wave and then a low wave, peaks and troughs. Who's to say we're going to go in another trough and finish outside of the top four? And then what we got Ole in charge for another few years, and then we're going to have to spend more money sacking a manager to then replace the manager. And the Glazers they're creaming the club. You know, the shares they're floated, they're not worth anything really. There's no voting rights with it. You can't make changes, even if you bought all of those shares. So, I mean, as you said, United are a cash cow. Now, there's no sign of the Glazers going because they're making money out of us. I mean, if you've got the goose that lays the golden egg, are you ever going to let go of it? And that's precisely why.
I agree.
You're right. The only way they're ever someone messaged me earlier. They're like, "Oh, how do you think the club will ever be sold?" And I said, I actually think there's probably only 5 or 6 people in the world who have enough money to buy the club because it's going to cost. Like to buy us, it was cost. I reckon you'd have to make an obscene offer of about 5-6 billion, which is
honestly, it's going to cost 5 to 7 billion to buy us. Yeah, because the Glazers won't want to let go. They want to have. You know, have them taken in it.
Yeah, but that's more money than Roman Abramovich is worth. Is what buy Man United. Then you would have to clear debts off and everything else that goes with it. So you have got to be beyond super rich to even better. I know there's not very many of them. Like, and then, I mean, Jeff Bezos is like the only guy who stands out. Because also what they're doing now, have you noticed? I don't think the Premier League are going to, when it comes to people that are billionaires from particular countries, they're being like, told no now. So United are just stuck here.
Generational.
It's going to be.
I tell you what, it's going to go for longer.
Wait, 1 second, bro. I think it's going to be 20 plus more years with the Glazers owning this club. You know, 20 plus.
Generational bondage. Generational bondage, people. Generational bondage is what we're in. The dad already done bought us and already gave it to his sons. What do you think these man them are going to do with their kids? They're giving it to us. Our only hope is that this weird, wonderful Glazer that actually likes football and wants Man United to be the best. That's the only way.
The black sheep,
Otherwise, we are
the black sheep,
Mate,
the black sheep in the
black
family.
sheep. Yo, we need a black sheep to come
Wait,
in and be like, boom,
we got
let's achieve
someone
this, bro.
heir to the throne who don't like money. He's more interested.
Yeah,
in
oh, give us a Prince Harry. Oh, listen, Prince,
Yeah, we need
Prince
Harry.
Harry Glazer, bro. Prince Harry
That's who we
Glazer is what we
need.
need.
That's who we need. Guys, listen, everyone that's tuned in. Sorry, go on, Nick.
To that super chat about spending money after the Champions League, because I know I've gone through this before, and I was thinking
it's true.
No, it's not true. It's true on the surface of it. Yes, we spend the money, but people need to get out of their head that spending money equals backing. And in terms of building, so we get into the top four. The point we're making is that we are not designed and built, and the owners don't care if we win the major trophies. And I'll tell you why. Because in those summers that he spoke about, we sold Di Maria and brought Memphis Depay. We sold Chicharito and Robin van Persie and brought Anthony Martial. That's what for LVG, for example. Under Jose Mourinho, we lost Zlatan because he had a long-term injury, so we got in Romelu Lukaku. All we're doing is replacing first-team players with first-team players, but replacing just a first-team player and a first-team player doesn't strengthen your squad. All it does is strengthen your first team. To win the major trophies, you have to have a squad. If this summer we sold Marcus Rashford and brought in, let's find a left winger.
Neto.
Let's say Neto. And then we sold Greenwood and we brought in Edouard Mendy. Are you saying that Solskjaer's being backed? No, Solskjaer being backed will be keeping our first team players and then going and buying a Haaland, a Sancho, strengthening the squad. So just saying we spent 150 million, 180 million after winning it does not detract from the point that we're making, that we are not built to win the major trophies.
Yes, and when you go through it, you're absolutely right. So I was just looking at it on here. I'm not going to reiterate too much. As you say, there's always someone big leaving that helps fund it, and I'm not going to go into net spend, but that's the whole point. Like, net spend in the basic sense doesn't exist, but of course, if you lose 2 or 3 top players, it counterbalances. This is what's going to happen this summer. We might end up spending 150 million pounds. Oh, so you spent 150 mil, but it's like, yes, but was that just on strengthening, or was that also replacing Paul Pogba that's left?
So Paul Pogba and bought Declan Rice. See, he spent 50 million. Like, what are you talking about? What week up?
And it ain't about the total money spent. If we sold Paul Pogba for 80 mil, but spent 60 mil on 3 players that were all better than Pogba, I would celebrate that. But we don't. And, you know, we've been doing it under the Glazers for a long time. But if you look at the year that really stands out, when Jose came second and we were 20-odd points behind City, that was the time to say, right, we are getting fully behind you now, go to the next level. And we signed Fred. And
Fred,
Dalot,
Lee Grant, 3 man. 3.
One sec, 70, and we spent 76 mil. But we also sold or raised like 27 million through the sale of players. So in terms of actuals, like, we didn't buy anybody new directly that was going to improve this squad. We didn't buy no one. And Fred weren't even Jose Mourinho's choice. So when it comes to backing, only the undereducated or the trolls say, well, you spend money. It's about it being spent in the right. Like we've already said, if my son needs food because he's hungry, but I buy him a Ferrari, the Ferrari's pointless, bro. And then what I do with the Ferrari, it needs petrol, but I put diesel in it as well. Like, it's just, that's how the Glazers run this football club. Listen, everyone who's tuned in this evening, a massive thank you to every single one of you. Please smash that like button before you leave right now. Give this a like. Share this on your social media streams. We're back tomorrow. We'll be going live straight after the North London derby, straight after Man United versus West Ham. Midnight Vibes is back as well. Until then,
don't worry, there'll be a different
God bless. And listen, we've got to get those Wallads and those pagans out.